Hey everybody, this is Jeremy, pastor here at the Accepted Ministry, Church of God Union Assembly. I wanted to come on here. I've been telling y'all I was going to get on here and do this, and I'll be honest with you, it all sounded good until it was time to press record, and then it got real scary. So I'm here, and I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible, but maybe through here in a little bit, there's no way I'm going to keep you guys on here for 20, 30 minutes. I'm going to kind of just paraphrase and keep it short on what I've been through, and try to keep this under 10 minutes best I can. But I want to tell you enough just to maybe this will inspire somebody, help somebody, let you see that we serve a God that has all power, that sent his son down here that could to help us and remove us from anything that holds us down, break any chains that holds us in darkness. And I'll tell you just a little backstory on me. For those of you who know me, you know who my mother and father was. I had a great father, Lloyd McCollum. He was a pastor and great man of God. And y'all know my mother. Everybody loves my mother. She's great God-fearing, praying mama. And my goodness, did she have to pray a lot for me. Because I near about gave that woman a heart attack. I may have, actually. She's got some heart trouble, and as bad as I hate to say it, I think I was part of it. But truth is, I was raised up in a good home. I can't really relate a whole lot to folks who wasn't. And that's why on this group, it's important that everybody tells their story, because my story is probably going to be better for somebody who's, maybe come from a good home but fell off the wagon somewhere along the way. But I come from a good home. I was raised, to go to church, to live for the Lord. But what you don't have, what you're not doing, you're curious about. And that was me. As a teenager, I sat there and, just like any teenager, you want to fit in with the crowd, and they call it peer pressure. But you want to fit in with the crowd. You want to go out and hang out with all your buddies and all that. And as you get older, you go to places and we'd go to parties and stuff, and there'd be things that was going on. And I always kind of hung out with the older kids when I was a teenager, and went to a party and they were drinking and smoking weed. And next thing I know, I'm drinking and smoking weed with them, and I'm tore up. And it really started with that. And that happened a lot through my early teenage years, 14, 15, 16 years old. And it wasn't really until I was about 17 years old that things really took a turn for the worst. I had my own ride. I could go anywhere I wanted to go, and you're riding around just doing everything, going everywhere. And I went to a party and I got in some pills there, and there was some cocaine there, and there was a few other things there too. And I'll never forget this one particular night, because it was the first time that I had tried something. And little did I know, I thought I could just try it, just be a part of the crew, and that'd be it. Little did I know it was going to hold me trapped for the next 6 years of my life. And not only that, but some of the other things that I had tried that night. And before my 18th birthday, all I was doing when I was 15, 16 years old, which I say all, it's not really, it's bad too. Worst drug, y'all have heard me say this, those who know me, the worst drug out there is alcohol. It leads to everything else. They can legalize it, say whatever they want about it. It's the devil's drink right there. So for all you who think it's okay to have a drink, read your Bible. Because alcohol will take you to hell quicker than about anything else will. It took me straight to the depths of it. And because that's where it all started. I was drunk, and before I turned 18 years old, I went from drinking, smoking weed, and smoking cigarettes at 17 years old. So I was on cocaine. I was taking about 6 to 8 Lortabs a day. I was taking Adderall with an occasional Xanax mixed in there with it, while smoking weed and drinking all at the same time. And it's the grace of God I didn't kill myself. I went out and I've done that. I could go on a lot on this. There's not a whole lot I haven't tried. There are things I haven't done, but there's not a whole lot I haven't. And I'm not proud of it at all. But you might ask, how in the world you knew better? And yeah, you're right. I should have known better not to do all that. And there was a part of me that did, but I don't think we really understand how hard it is on like kids. I mean, even back then, I'm in my mid-30s now, but these kids now, I've got 4 kids. How hard it is on them now, because there's so much more out there with fentanyl and all that stuff out there now that is just destroying families and homes and young children coming up dead. And, these young teenagers are overdosing and dying. It's the grace of God. I believe that I'm still here. There's been times where I didn't think I would make it, but like I was saying, I'm going to try to keep this short. So, by the time I was 18 years old, I had an addiction to all those things. And I lived that life for 6 straight years. And there was multiple ups and downs where I would, because I knew better. The Bible tells us if you train up a child in the way it should go, it won't depart from it. I knew better, and I kept wanting to come back to the Lord. Casting Crowns released that Set Me Free song, and I loved that song, and I would listen to it, and it would tear me up, and it'd make me want to sit there and just give it all up, and I'd ask the Lord to set me free. But there was a part of me that just still wanted to do it. There's a part of me that still liked to get high, that wanted to make excuses. As long as I don't do too much, if I just do it every now and then, I wasn't ready to fully surrender. So the next 6 years there, it was this up and down thing to where I was either all 100% in or I was trying to be 100% out. And that 100% out never lasted more than about a week and a half. And then I'd be worse off every time I jumped back into it. But finally, August of 2010, I sat there and started having some pain and had some things going on health-wise, and went to the hospital, and they told me I had bladder cancer. And that scared me to death. I mean, you're talking about 23, 24 years old at the time. And I'm like, what in the world? I can't believe this has happened. But I knew. See, I knew I was called to preach when I was a teenager. And that's really where all this started. Because I didn't know if I necessarily wanted. It wasn't cool to be a preacher when you were a teenager. That wasn't the cool thing. That ain't what all the girls liked, I thought. They don't want to be with no preacher. They don't want to be with no guy. They want a guy to go out and party, have a good time with them. I was just running from the work of the Lord, and God finally took his big hand, slapped me across the head, and said, you're going to do what I want you to do, or you're going to be gone. And I realized that laying in that hospital. And I was sitting there with somebody, and they were crying, and they said, oh no, what are we going to do? And I said, this is the Lord. And he said, what? And I said, this is the Lord. He's putting this on me. I said, no, I don't know. I said, no, I do. It is. And trust me, it is the Lord. He is putting this on me because he's sick and tired of the life I'm living. He's tired of me living this way. He wants me to do his work. And the only way I'm going to be able to do his work is to quit the things that I'm doing. And I sat right there in that hospital bed, and I said a prayer to the Lord. I said, Lord, I don't know how much longer you want me here. And I know I'm not your favorite. But if you'll let me out of this hospital, I'll do whatever you have for me to do. I'll try my best. But as far as all this stuff goes, as far as the drugs, as far as the alcohol goes, I'm done. I'll let it go today. But you're going to have to help me. I made up in my mind that day that I was done. I'm not doing this anymore. And people say, it's not that easy just to say that I'm done. Yes, it is. I can do all things through Christ who strengtheneth me. All things. Yes, you can do anything. I don't care what you got, even this fentanyl. You can let it go if you do it through Jesus. See, I made my mind up that I'm going to do it through you, Lord. I'm going to let it all go, but you're going to have to help me with it. He told us to cast our burdens upon him. So I cast that burden on the Lord. Lord, I know you didn't cause this burden, but I did. But you told me to cast it to you, so here you go. Help me out, Lord. I need your help. So I cast that burden to him. And was it hard? Yeah, for about the first, honestly. To be completely honest, it was about 3 or 4 days where it was really tough. And I'm not necessarily 100% that it was so tough because of, because I still had the stuff with the bladder stuff going on. I don't know if it was so tough because of that or if it was just, I was scared. But after I remember it was about the start of that second week, because we had played a softball game that night when I went to the hospital. and that's when I got sick and we went up there. But I remember it was that night. Yeah, it was the night we played the softball game. Okay, sorry about that. But I remember the start of that second week right there. I woke up and I realized, I was like, man, I've been an entire week, and it's not like it was before. See, I'd quit things before for a week, but it was eating me alive to do it again. But at this point, I was just like, I felt free. I don't know if you've ever felt that feeling of just, I'm free. Like, this has not got me bound anymore. And at that point, my life changed. I started getting that excitement to go to church again. I got that excitement to get up to go to work and try to build my business and try to make a living. And I'm going to try to save some money because I've been wanting to buy this. And my whole mindset changed. See, my mindset before was to wake up, get high, smoke a joint or something, get high, go to work, make some money, go hit the dope man up on the way home, go home, pick me up a little bit of liquor on the way home. I drank Captain Morgan was my thing. I drank a $30 bottle a day at one point, every single day. And I'd grab it on the way home at a little liquor store, and I'd go home and I'd drink that, and I'd smoke, I'd snort me a couple lines with some pills in it, and just be tore up and love the life I was living at the time. But at that point, I had no desire. All that sounded just miserable to me, because let me tell you what happens when you come to the Lord and you repent. That old man that loved to do all those things, he gets buried. He gets buried and done away with. And God creates a new man in you. He said, they that are in Christ are a new creature. Old things are passed away, and behold, all things are become new. See, I was at that point where, right at the cusp, where all the old things were now passed away. And now I've got this new life going. And there was such an excitement that came with that. And I still get excited thinking about it now, was how I was just got to a point where I was miserable living that way. I didn't want to do that anymore. It was just, I got routine of doing it. So when I didn't do it anymore, sorry, the phone was ringing. When I didn't do it anymore, I was, it was just like this. You got a brand new toy when you're a kid. It's hard to explain. That's the best way. You got that brand new toy and you can't wait to get home and open it up. You got it from the store. You can't wait to get home and open it. We loved Nintendo games when we were kids. I remember we'd go to the store, get a new game, or go rent one from Blockbuster, and you'd be so excited you want to get home and hurry up and play it. That was my feeling. I was so excited to be away from all that. I was just excited about doing everything else, doing things for the Lord, doing things for work. And I just wish I could relay that in a way for somebody out there that maybe's in that lifestyle that I was in. How much more happier that you are, how much more peace that you have, how much better life is. But you got to want it. You're not going to get it without the Lord. They have all these programs, and I appreciate these programs that people do. I really do. It's a program to try to help somebody. We have our outreach ministry that we try to help people. But when it comes down to it, what we tell everybody, and the best way that you can go about getting clean and getting your life straightened up and getting free from sin, there's only one person that can set you free, and that's Jesus Christ. You're going to have to look to Him. It's His program that's going to set you free. When you truly get tired of living that life that you're living, and you decide, Lord, I'm going to live for you, and you're going to help me because you promised me you would, you'll see a change in your life. You'll be a different person. People won't recognize you anymore. Those folks that used to hang out with you, and I'll tell you this right now, they ain't going to want to hang out with you anymore. You know why? Because y'all are a lot different people than you used to be. If they're still doing the things that they're doing and you're not, don't expect to get getting a lot of phone calls from them. You are going to lose some friends, but let me tell you, they wasn't your real friends. They were Satan's devices to keep you deep in that hole that you were in. You need to thank the Lord that they stopped calling your phone, because all they were going to do was sit there and tempt you anyway. God's made a greater path for you. But that was August 2010 when all that happened. Today is, it's April 8th, 9th, 23. You're talking nearly 13 years ago now. Since then, I couldn't tell you all the blessings, but I couldn't just go through everything God's done for me. This would be an hour long Well, probably a lot longer than that. But it would be long, we'll put it that way. Couldn't tell you all the things that he's done for me, how much he's blessed me. And I hope that through something that I've said here, it is as simple as just giving it up. It is as simple as just stopping and putting it in the Lord's hand. I hope that you can see that. Because everybody tells you it's not possible. And all things are possible with God. All things are possible through Jesus. We can do it, and we can do it together. And you don't have to sit there and fight those battles all alone. You can give them to the Lord. You're not going to be able to win. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to be able to win if you try to do it by yourself. You're going to have to come to the Lord. He is the only way out. He's the only way out for anybody. Even if you go through something that, keeps you locked up in a room to where you can't touch nothing for a month. I've seen that so many times with folks. They go to jail. They spend a year in jail. They ain't got access to the things they done. The moment they hit the streets, when they come back out, they're right back out there trying to find it and do it. Because they didn't get set free of it. They were just kept away from it. I'm talking about Jesus, who actually sets you free of it, sits there and buries that old man. When you get baptized, you repent of those things and you get baptized, he buries that old man and makes you a whole new man or woman. Gives you something to look forward to, a future. I hope this has been a blessing to somebody, because I'll be honest with you, this was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And this is the second time I've recorded this, and the first time I was like, okay, that was horrible. I sound scared to death. I need to get myself together. So I went back, just deleted it, and I said, I'm just going to shorten it up and tell it in a better way, I guess. Not try to go over every little detail, but just know you got folks here that's willing to be right there and pray for you and help you and love you. And I don't care what anybody's ever said to you. I don't care where you've been, that they didn't make you feel uncomfortable. You come over here to accept the ministry, you're going to be welcomed in with open arms. We're going to love you. I don't care what you got going on. I don't care if you sit there and walk in our doors high Sunday morning. Come on in. Find you a seat. You need anything, let us know. We'll take care of you. Because the fact that you're there, you took that step. You took that step. And once you take that step to the Lord, don't think he's going to sit there and leave you hanging. He's coming right back to you. He's taking one right back to you. And if we can keep making them steps together, then eventually y'all going to meet up on that road somewhere and he's going to set you free. And it may not be as many steps as you think it is. It may just be one. But we got to make that step. I hope my testimony is a little bit of a blessing for some of those who's been in a similar situation. They say people like us ain't supposed to be free. They say that once you've done these things and you've been on all this, that you're never the same again. That's a lie. That's a lie. God changes everything. He can sit there and take that whole life that was a complete shambles and turn it into a life of glory and victory for him. And this testimony of mine is a story of victory for God. It's nothing that I done. I didn't do anything. All I did was just pretty much throw it off on the Lord. I made up my mind that I wanted to change, but the Lord done the work. I gave it to him. I knew I couldn't fight it. I'd been fighting it for 6 years. I couldn't get over it myself. So when I gave it to the Lord, he fought the battle for me. I just showed up. And say that's kind of funny. I've heard people say, I can't believe you say it like that. You've got some part in it. No. All I did was show up. I showed up and I heard the word preached to me, and God cleaned the rest of it up. And he can do it for anybody. If he done it for me, I know he'd do it for anybody else too. But it's a matter of wanting it. Do you want it? Do you want to show up and get it? God's prepared a lot of great things for us, but we just won't show up and take them. It's almost like somebody holding a suitcase of $1 million right there and telling you if you drive over here and get it, you can have it. And we sit at the house and don't go get it. That's where your freedom is. It's in the Word. If the Word's being put forth, that's where your freedom is. There's your $1 million right there, briefcase. Come out and get it. God's got it for you. Come and get it. Don't just sit at the house and miss out on it. There's so many different blessings that we can have if we just give it all to the Lord. Oh, Lord, I said I'd keep this under 10 minutes. It's 20 minutes. I hope this has been a blessing to you guys. Please, I know it's kind of scary because this is terrifying. this is hard. I'll get up and preach all day long, but getting on here and actually, telling your whole story across the internet to everybody, it's hard. But I don't care. I'm going to post this, and I hope that through this somebody wants to give their life to the Lord, and if not, at least it got their heart pricked a little bit, made them think a little bit. But God bless you all. Love you all. You got somebody here if you need somebody, and don't be too shy. If you don't want to do a video like this, just please type out something. If it's just something you want to give God honor for, put it on there. I want people to see that on this page. I want people to be able to scroll down this page and see testimonies. Whether they're videos like this or whether they're, just text. Just one way or another. Let somebody know what God has done for you. He gave you that testimony for you to tell it, not for you to bottle it up and put it in the corner. Tell somebody about it. Love y'all.